Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn Mathematics. Myself Rekha Chabra, your maths teacher. Please like, share and subscribe this channel, and I would request you all to please keep watching these videos for the better understanding of the topic. Last video we discussed the concept of adjoint of a matrix and how we use it for finding the inverse of a matrix. Now moving forward, I will discuss few questions based on NCERT exercise 4.5. But before we start discussing the questions, let's do a quick recapitulation of the topic that we studied in the last session. Inverse of a matrix using adjoint, there is a rule that we take the adjoint only for a non-singular matrix. Why we do it? There is a valid reason for that, because the formula of inverse of a matrix says that A inverse is equal to adjoint A upon determinant A. Adjoint A upon determinant A, if we will get the value of determinant as 0, so it will be not defined and we will not be able to find the inverse of a matrix. So that's why there is a rule that we take adjoint only for a non-singular matrix. If a matrix is a singular matrix, then there is no use of taking the adjoint of that matrix. What is a singular matrix? A singular matrix is when we calculate the determinant and we get it equal to 0. That's what we discussed in the last video as well. 6 into 2, 12 minus 12 equal to 0. So hence this is a singular matrix. What is a non-singular matrix? When we calculate the determinant, 6 into 2, 12 minus 3 into 5, 15. So we are not getting 0. So it means we can say M is a non-singular matrix. And what is the formula for inverse of a matrix? This is equal to adjoint A upon determinant A. One more thing we have to keep in our mind for doing the questions, that A inverse is equal to A inverse into A is equal to I. This is also one of the property that we studied earlier, but we have to keep in our mind for doing the questions now. What is adjoint matrix? Adjoint matrix is basically the transpose of cofactor matrix. Adjoint A we can say is equal to Aij, and then we have to take its transpose, or simply we can write down as Aji, because the transpose means rows and columns will be interchanged. So Ij will become Ji now. Now let's start discussing some questions. Let's take question number 2. We have to find the adjoint of this given matrix A. What is adjoint? Adjoint is the transpose of cofactor matrix. So first of all, we have written a general way of adjoint A. We have taken the transpose and we have written in this format. Now we will calculate the values and we will input in this equation. Now for finding the cofactors, first of all we have to find the minors, and after that, what is the change in cofactors and minors? There is a change or difference of sign, whether we have to take plus or we have to take minus, that what we have to decide. So first of all, it's calculating minors. M11, everybody is well aware that how we calculate minor. By any chance if you missed that video, then please go back again on my YouTube channel and see that video one more time so that you understand these questions properly and easily. So M11 we have to calculate. It means we have to cross first row and first column, and whatever will be left we have to calculate the determinant of those four elements the way we calculate for a 2 by 2 matrix. So 3 into 1 minus 5 into 0, 3 minus 0, which is 3. M12 means first row and second column we have to cross, first row and second column, and 2, 5 minus 2 and 1 we have to calculate the determinant. This way we have to calculate the minors of all 9 elements, and then we will decide the sign for calculating adjoint. So A11, 1 plus 1, 2, which is an even number, so it means A11 will be equal to M11 only. And A12, 1 plus 2 is 3, which is an odd number. It means cofactor A12 will be equal to negative of M12. So if it was 12, so A12 will be minus 12. This way we will calculate all 9 cofactors, and then third step we just have to input all these values in this adjoint A matrix, and this adjoint A is ready for the given matrix A. Hope you all must have understood this. This is very simple, easy. Now, next, let's take question number 4. We have to verify this property A into adjoint A is equal to adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I for this given matrix A. This is one of the theorem as well given in NCRT book. Now let's verify this theorem, or we can say property, for this given matrix A. First of all, let's calculate the determinant. Determinant for this matrix, we can expand along any row. Let's expand along first row, and the determinant is 11. In the last term, which is given determinant A into I, it means it is equal to 11 into identity matrix of same order. Same order means 3 by 3. Now, let's calculate the first term. For first term, we have to find out adjoint A first of all. Adjoint A we have written in the standard format. It is equal to the transpose of its cofactor matrix. This is given matrix A. Now we will calculate all the 9 minors. Then we'll calculate all 9 cofactors. And then we will input all these values in the matrix adjoint A. Now adjoint A is ready. Now we will calculate the first term of the equation, that was A into adjoint A. A into adjoint A means the product of matrix A into matrix adjoint A. So A matrix and adjoint A matrix. Now we have to multiply. I hope everybody knows how to multiply two matrices. First term A11 means we have to take first row and first column, and we have to add the product of their corresponding elements. 1 into 0 minus 1 into minus 11, then 2 into 0. So after that, this is A12 means first row and second column, 1 into 3 minus 1 into 1 and 2 into minus 1. Then this is A13 means first row and third column, 1 into 2 minus 1 into 8 and 2 into 3. This way we will calculate and simplify, and we will get all 9 elements. We can see that we are getting this matrix, and please concentrate that this is a matrix, not a determinant. So we can easily take 11 common from this matrix, and inside we will left with an identity matrix of order 3. So this is equal to 11 into I, which is equal to the third term of the equation. Now we have to find out, we have to work on the second term, which is adjoint A into A. Adjoint A into A means now we will write down adjoint A first of all, and then we will write matrix A, and same way we will multiply, and then again we are getting the same result, 11 into identity matrix of order 3. So, and the third term we have already calculated determinant A, so it is equal to 11 into I. So we can say that A into adjoint A is equal to adjoint A into A is equal to determinant A into I is equal to 11 into I. All these three terms are equal to 11I. So hence proved. Question number 10, find the inverse of this given matrix if it exists. So it means first of all we have to check whether the inverse exists or not. How we get to know that inverse exists or not means first of all we have to check the determinant. If it is a singular matrix, then inverse does not exist, and if it is a non-singular matrix, it means we can proceed further and inverse will exist. So given matrix A is this, we know that this is the formula, A inverse is equal to adjoint A upon determinant A. This inverse exists if determinant A is not equal to 0. So calculating determinant A, this is equal to minus 1. Expanding along first row, answer is minus 1, which is not equal to 0. So hence it means A inverse exists, and we can proceed further for finding the inverse of given matrix A. For that, again, first of all, we need adjoint A. Adjoint A is again the transpose of cofactor matrix. We will calculate all the minors, then we will calculate all the cofactors, and then we'll input the value in this matrix. This is adjoint A ready. Now calculating inverse, this is formula 1 upon determinant A into adjoint A. So determinant A was minus 1, 1 upon minus 1, and into this adjoint A matrix. Now we can 1 upon minus 1 is equal to minus only, minus 1, and we can take this minus inside. All the other signs will be changed. Minus 2, 0, minus 1 will become positive 1. minus 9 will become positive 9, minus 2 will become positive 2, 3 will become minus 3, minus 6 will be positive 6, minus 1 will be positive 1, and 2 will be negative 2. So this is inverse of that matrix. Now let's take one more question, question number 12. Matrix A is given, matrix B is given, verify this property. This is also one of the theorem given in NCERT. Now let's prove this theorem or property for these two given matrices. Let's take left hand side AB whole inverse. So first of all we have to calculate AB and then we will find its inverse. AB means A into B. Simple multiplication and we will get one matrix which is equal to the product of A and B. Now we have to find out inverse of this matrix. So now AB inverse, AB is this time representing one single matrix. If you want, you can even give it some other name like matrix C, which is equal to AB, or otherwise we can proceed with AB only. But if you get confused, you can even name it with some other matrix C. So AB whole inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant AB into adjoint AB. This inverse exists only if the same process determinant AB is not equal to 0. So first of all we will calculate determinant of this matrix AB. This is minus 2 which is not equal to 0, so it means inverse exists and we can proceed further. Now we need AB is this matrix, we need adjoint of AB. We know very well there is a shortcut method for finding the adjoint of matrix AB. So matrix AB 2 by 2 matrix. So what we can do, interchange the main principal diagonal elements, and for these two elements we can just change the sign. This is adjoint ready. Adjoint, after getting adjoint, what we have to do, we have to put the values in this formula. AB inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant AB, that was 1 upon minus 2, and adjoint AB is this matrix. Now taking right hand side B inverse into A inverse. So it means first of all we have to find B inverse, then A inverse, and then their product. So first calculating B inverse, same thing, B inverse will exist only if determinant B is not equal to 0. So we'll calculate determinant B, it is minus 2, it means B inverse exists. Now B inverse exists, first of all we will calculate adjoint B same thing, main principal diagonal elements we will swap and we will change the sign of these two elements. So this is adjoint B ready, so inverse B is equal to 1 upon determinant B which was minus 2 and into this matrix adjoint B. Now we have to calculate A inverse, same way it exists only if it is determinant A is not equal to 0. We'll calculate determinant A which is 1 not equal to 0, so it means A inverse exists. For finding A inverse, first of all adjoint A, main principal diagonals element swap and change the sign of these two elements. This is adjoint A ready. Now A inverse, we will input all these values, then we will calculate B inverse into A inverse. It means B inverse matrix then into A inverse matrix. We can simply keep this minus half outside because this is multiplying with both the matrices, and first of all we will do the multiplication of these two matrices. Same way for first element first row first column, second element first row second column. This element is A2 1, so second row and first element first column, and then this is A2 2, so second row and second column. And this matrix is ready and minus half is outside, which is equal to left hand side that we calculated. Left hand side was this. Left hand side was this. AB whole inverse is equal to 1 upon minus 2, 61 minus 87 minus 47 and 67. And now what we are getting, the same thing. Minus half, 61 minus 87 minus 47 and 67. So LHS equal to RHS, hence proved. Now students, hope you must have understood these questions. You can please try these questions at home and few more examples of this exercise. We will continue this exercise, few more questions in my next video. So keep practicing and keep watching. Thank you students.